We've now had 9 Labour MPs quit the party this week. Ian Austin, the latest to go, and he's citing anti-Semitism. He's pointing the finger at Jeremy Corbyn for, quote, creating a culture of extremism and intolerance. He also said the party had been turned into a narrow sect. In a recent interview, Corbyn was basically saying that as these MPs who've resigned ran on the 2017 For the Many, Not the Few manifesto, the democratic thing to do would be to call by-elections and let their constituents decide who they want to represent them. And I'm inclined to agree with this. They should. If you're an MP who switches lanes and runs on a different platform, you should stand before the people and let them decide. Ian Austin hasn't joined this new independent group in Parliament, which has 11 members, I think, 8 former Labour and 3 former Tories. Among their ranks, Chuka Umunna and Anna Soubry. So, a lot has been said about supposed institutional anti-Semitism in the Labour Party, or this idea that Corbyn is an absolute dictator in running the show. I'm not buying it. There are anti-Semites in Labour, clearly, as there are in other parties, but institutionally racist against the Jewish people? No. It's quite telling that a group of 200 Jewish Labour members just sent a letter to Corbyn supporting him and calling the party, quote, a crucial ally in the fight against bigotry. Having said this, there is a problem here with anti-Jewish feelings on the left. Nowhere near as prevalent as it is on the right, of course, but yeah, it's there. And on this issue, Corbyn is copping a lot of flack. People are saying he's not doing enough. Well, there have been plenty of suspensions and expulsions and investigations, but the Parliamentary Labour Party wants to see more action. Reading the stats, and this is obviously me coming from an outside perspective, it looks like a good deal is being done to tackle this issue. And Corbyn himself has been unequivocal. No place in Labour for anti-Semitism. He's repeated this several times, and it's of course worth repeating. As to the issue of his leadership style, I don't know what goes on behind closed doors. What I do know is he's very popular with a certain wing of his party, very unpopular with the other Blairite centrist wing. Corbyn is really up against it. Hostile reactionary media and a big core of his own party who clearly hate him. All of this against the backdrop of Brexit. That thing I don't want to talk about so much, but it's looming like a giant shit cloud now. As far as the Conservatives go, their civil war, which has been going on for decades, is over Britain's place in Europe. And the complaint of several centre-leaning ground Tories is that the so-called European Research Group, which isn't an actual research group, it's the hard right of the Conservative Party, is bullying the Prime Minister, or the group has effectively taken over the party. I don't know. What is clear is that the government can't do what it wants to do in this hung parliament. Maybe we will see more ministerial resignations in the coming weeks ahead. If I could, for a moment, ignore the elephant in the room, our impending departure from the EU, and look at this newly formed independent group. It's basically centrist politicians who aren't happy with the way that their now former parties are being run. Too far to the left, too far to the right. So I guess they see themselves as the moderates in the middle. But is it not the British centre ground, which is essentially fiscal conservatism with a few socially progressive policies sprinkled here and there? It's the politics of Cameron and Clegg. We've seen it. It didn't taste good, and it wasn't good for the country. Anyway, I'll see you next time, folks. Take it easy.